Hello, welcome to Midnight Whispers. Here, silence whispers from the darkness. Today, I'm going to take you deep into the jungle, but returning is not guaranteed. In this video, we're going to explore three real-life creepy forest disappearances that have never been explained. If you're interested in true stories told in the dark, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because this is where fear finds a voice. Case 1. James Tedford, Missing Man, Full Bus. In 1949, James Tedford, a retired soldier, was living in a veteran's home in Bennington, Vermont. He left home for a short time to visit his family. A few days later, he began his return journey. His return route would take him through the area known as the Bennington Triangle, notorious for mysterious disappearances. James boarded a bus from St. Albans to Bennington. There were 14 passengers in total on the bus, and several witnesses confirmed that he remained in his seat throughout the journey. But when the bus arrived at the last stop in Bennington, James was not in his seat. His coat, suitcase, torn ticket, and personal belongings were still in his seat. So there was no sign of him getting off the bus. No witnesses, no trace, no explanation. This case is not just about disappearing. For a person to disappear in a full bus, in front of witnesses, completely without a trace, it is too strange to be explained logically. Some thought that he had sneaked off the bus, or that an accident had happened to him. But the bus driver and passengers stated unequivocally that there were no stops until the destination, and that James did not get off the vehicle. Police found no signs of foul play, escape, or suspicion of foul play. The Bennington Triangle has seen countless unexplained disappearances over the years, but the case of James Tedford is perhaps the strangest of them all, because a human being, along with those around him, disappeared. All that remains is an empty seat and an unsolved mystery. Case 2. Dennis Martin, The Curse of the Great Smoky Mountains. The year was 1969. As the summer sun slowly crept over the hills of the Great Smoky Mountains, one of the largest national parks in the United States, 6-year-old Dennis Martin was spending a pleasant Father's Day weekend with his family. The plan was simple: a little hiking in nature, a picnic, a lot of laughter, but no one expected a child to disappear without a trace in the woods that day. Dennis, his father, grandfather, and brother were taking a walk when they met another family in the park. The children soon hit it off. They planned a little prank, hide behind the bushes and scare the adults. Everyone took their places, but Dennis never showed up again. Minutes later, his family started looking for him. Then hours passed, then days. But there was no sign of Dennis. No screams, no footprints, no logical explanation for his disappearance. Authorities are on high alert. 1,400 volunteers and military personnel combed the area for days with thermal cameras, search dogs, and airplanes. 56 square kilometers were examined meter by meter, but the result was always the same: nothing was found. Some witnesses said they saw something quite disturbing in the woods that day. One park visitor described a big black man walking quickly through the woods very close to the area where Dennis disappeared, carrying something in his arms. His description did not sound like a bear, but a human-looking but unusually large being. Over the years, this account has led to theories of Dennis's mysterious disappearance as a wild creature. Some thought Dennis had fallen off a cliff or been attacked by a wild animal, but no body, no pieces of clothing, no traces of blood were ever found. It was as if a 6-year-old boy had vanished like a shadow in the middle of nature. Dennis Martin's case is still not closed. The Great Smoky Mountains still welcome millions of visitors today, but some believe something is hiding in those woods. Something silent, shadowy, and waiting. All that remains is the name of a lost boy. and the curse of a sinister forest. Case 3. Christopher Tompkins, Footprints to Eternity. The year is 2002. In rural Georgia, 20-year-old Christopher Tompkins was a field worker for a land surveying company. On the morning of January 25th, Christopher and 4 co-workers set out early in the morning as usual. Their workplace was on a rural road surrounded by wooded and swampy areas. Everything was ordinary that morning until Christopher disappeared, literally out of nowhere. Christopher was walking at the back of the group. His colleagues knew he was about 20 or 30 meters behind them, but when he suddenly called out, there was no answer. When they came back, Christopher was gone. No scream, no call for help, no sign that he had escaped. There was only one thing: a sock on the wire fence by the roadside and a few coins found at the bottom of the fence, a piece of fabric from his work pants, and a muddy footprint. That was all there was. It was as if an unseen hand had taken Christopher out of the air in that moment. Police and search and rescue teams combed the area for days. Drones, search dogs, even swamps were repeatedly searched. But neither Christopher's body, nor his clothes, nor his cell phone were found. It was as if he had literally vanished into thin air. His family believes the disappearance was too sudden and untraceable to be natural. A kidnapping? An attack? Or is it something darker? The road where Christopher disappeared was covered on one side by dense forest and on the other by thorn bushes and hedges. It is such a narrow space that it takes an almost supernatural explanation for a person to disappear at that speed. Even today, some people walking the dirt roads of Georgia say they feel that something is out there watching them. Christopher Tompkins' tracks seem to stretch into infinity, and all that is left is a shoe print, a sock, and questions echoing in the silence. Forests. Quiet, peaceful, but also the bearers of eternal secrets. Dennis Martin, Christopher Tompkins, and James Tedford. 3 different people, 3 different forests, but the same result: disappeared without a trace. No scream, no trace, no logical explanation. It's as if nature sucked them in and never gave them back. So what really happened to these people? Did they disappear by accident? Were they kidnapped? Or did some unexplained force take them? Perhaps the answers are still hidden deep in those forests, behind a bush, in the shade of a tree. Remember, forests are not just trees. Sometimes you can look and see nothing, but something might be watching you. If you liked the video, please subscribe and don't forget to write in the comments what you think is the most mysterious case. See you in the new horror files. We wish your night silence to last forever.